Gambia is classified as one of the world's heavily indebted low-income countries. The inclusion of women in decision-making and training in agriculture is critical to the expansion of Gambia's economy. In this report from the International Fund for Agricultural Development, we meet a woman who's making a difference in Gambia and for the country's women.
This is Fatu Danso. Today she is harvesting chilies, which she will sell at the local market. But Fatu is not just a farmer. She is also the Gambia's first female village chief, and she's completely changed how women are perceived here.
I got a lot of respect as a result of my farming, because it breaks down the notion that leaders use their followers to live on. I live on my own sweat.
Being a chief who farms is not the only change that Fatu has brought to the village. More than 2,000 people live here, but before she became chief, the land was only farmed by men. But Fatu saw that it was women who took on most of the responsibility for feeding and supporting their families. When she became village chief, she also became custodian of the land, and she decided to change things.
Land acquisition was difficult for women because the village chief provides the land. My predecessors didn't see giving land to women as important. If you're in possession of land, you should be mindful of others who need a small portion to earn a living.
So Fatu divided 4 hectares of land into small plots, and she invited the women in her village to form a vegetable garden scheme. There are now 420 members, who have each been given a section to farm. While the men work upland farming peanuts, women like Fatimate Sane can now supplement their incomes with what they grow here.
Before I got my own plot, I was about to go deep into poverty. But now I can use part of what I produce as food and part of it I sell. And I use the proceeds for the family and to support my husband.
At weekly meetings, each group member contributes what they can to the group fund, so that they have enough money to buy new seeds and maintain the land. But when they started the scheme, they needed help to get it off the ground. So Fatu applied to a government project which assists women farmers. With funding from the UN agency IFAD, the group was provided with seeds, fertilizer and training.
Investing in women, we believe that they transform a household, they transform the rural sector. And I think that this is what IFAD really wants to encourage, giving women the skills and supporting them to be able to take decisions, to empower women, give them more access to land, to be able to do things on their own.
Today, Fatu is attending a training session on how to run a farm as a business.
Accountability can be so easy if records are kept in a business.
Back in her village, Fatu applies what she learns at the trainings. Each day, her daughter sells their produce in the local market, and the family live comfortably on the earnings.
The income I get from the vegetables is how I support my family, with food, clothing, and education of my children. This gives a lot of improvement in my lifestyle as village chief.
Fatu also passes on what she learns at the trainings to the rest of the group, so that they all learn how to get the most value out of what they farm.
The kinds of benefits we get from the tenure of the village chief are tremendous. All we can say is we are so thankful for the village chief.
At a time of failed harvests and food shortages throughout the region, this chief has ensured that her village will not go hungry.
Well, that report was provided by the International Fund for Agricultural Development, a UN agency.